Tell your daughters, sisters, mothers, how they inherited their ancestors' souls in their smiles, that they carry countries that breathe life into history, that the swing of their hips does not determine their destiny. Tell them when God created them, He created a dream, wrapped a body around it, and in love He joined up every seam. That He poured in them courage, colour, creativity, and put in them a heart that is gentle but fierce, and with it they will pierce through the darkness. Tell them to not let their original shimmering self get buried so deep that they stop recognizing its breath. Tell them to not constantly put on and take off selves that aren't themselves like coats and hats against the world's weather. Tell your daughters, sisters, mothers, how you love your body. Tell them how they must love theirs, whether there's a little of them or a lot, whether freckles cover their face or not, whether their curves are plentiful or slim, whether their hair is long, short, curly, straight, frizzy, wavy, thick or thin. Tell them to never listen when bodies are being critiqued, but instead they must celebrate, especially those who are feeling weak, to lift them up and lift them high, and to not let joy for their sisters' gifts be stolen by envy and pride. Tell them to let love rise up till all fear of age is gone, because age is beautiful. Tell them that every line on their face holds a secret, a piece of wisdom, a moment in a journey. Every line holds joy, pain, bravery, tears, smiles, patience, hurry, early mornings and late nights, adventure and rest. Tell them, age is beautiful. Tell them how God sees, how He sees them through, and still He's pleased and His delight will never cease. Tell them that the world will speak harshly, but their Father has spoken with mercy, that the world will reduce their bodies to flesh for show, but they must let the lies go and the truth grow, that their bodies are living miracles, breathing, laughing, weeping, dancing, running, baby growing miracles. Tell them to above all else guard their hearts. Tell them to guard it with the voice of the one who wonderfully made them. Tell them to hear His whispers in the wind, to recognize His invitation in the laughter of good friends, to hear it in the beat of the song, to feel it through the touch of a loved one, to sense it at the birth of their first child, to be drawn into it when the sunbeam breaks through the leaves. Tell them it's all made to quench the thirst of their love-sick hearts, and speaks of a love story written with their name in mind. Tell them to speak up, to speak out, for love does not hold its tongue, and passion doesn't bow to what man thinks. Tell them He has gone before them, that sometimes it's painful to be brave, to look fear in the face, and still know your Saviour's name. But they must speak His name anyway, and to hold steadfast to this sound, because when drought and hunger come, His name will be like honey on their lips. Tell them to wrap themselves around the kindness of the Father, because He will lead them further, and His sweet grace will hold up their frame and guide them through the world's exhausting game of jealousy, pride and idolatry, but He will be proud of them without apology. Tell them to live in the world, but to not be a slave to its striving of proving that you are worthy of love, because He proved it already with blood. Tell them how He sees them through, and still He's pleased, and His delight will never cease. Tell them that being born, growing up, leaving home, finding work for your hands, being praised, being rejected, praying, playing, falling ill, being healed, living, and yes, dying, they are all expressions of one divine question from the heart of the one that loves them, asking, do you love me back? And at every step, they have the choice to say no and the choice to say yes. Tell them if they let this define their moments, then comfort and suffering will become more alike than different, both becoming chances to say the great yes to the one who was love, is love, and will be love. Tell them how God looked over everything he had made and said, "It is very good, through and through, it's very good." Tell them how he sees them through, and still he is pleased, and his delight will never cease.